A new Solana killer has arrived. I am, of course, referring to Sui, which, alongside Aptos, has its roots in Facebook's Libra. Like Aptos, Sui has raised hundreds of millions of dollars from some of the biggest investors in crypto, and its next-generation blockchain recently went live. So today, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Sui, including where it came from, how it works, and where this crypto project could be headed. Okay, I'll start by saying that nothing in this video is financial or investment advice. This is purely educational crypto content that's intended to help you in your own research. Also note that I do not hold Sui as part of my crypto portfolio. That said, the story of Sui begins with its 5 founders: Evan Cheng, Adeniyi Abiodun, Sam Blackshear, George Danezis, and Kostas Halkias. All 5 have seriously impressive resumes and used to work at Novi Financial, the company that was building products for Facebook's Libra, namely the Novi wallet. If you watched our video about Facebook's Libra, you'll know that it failed to get off the ground because of intense regulatory scrutiny around the world. You'll also know that it rebranded to Diem and changed its MO to comply with regulations, but it didn't work. Diem was officially shut down in January 2022. Obviously, Sui's founders saw this coming from a mile away. To ensure they could continue their crypto journey, they founded Miston Labs in September 2021, a software company based in Palo Alto, California. Per its website, Miston Labs is working on both Sui and the Move programming language. Naturally, the 5 founders now hold executive positions at Miston Labs. Evan is the CEO, Adeniyi is the CPO, Sam is the CTO, George is the chief scientist, and Kostas is the chief cryptographer. From what I've seen, Evan has become the de facto face of the company, and he has some interesting motivations. Evan has apparently been involved in the crypto industry since 2016, though it's not clear how or which projects he was involved in. What is clear is that Evan believes that Bitcoin is digital gold and that he was inspired by Ethereum to work in crypto. From what I can tell, he wants Sui to compete with Ethereum. Evan mentioned in an interview that he wanted to start his own crypto project during the 2017 bull market, but was concerned that he wouldn't be able to build a good team given the skepticism of crypto in Silicon Valley. He wanted to work on Facebook's Libra because he thought he could create a team there. Notably, Evan specified that the vision for Sui was, quote, there from the beginning, and that Sui, quote, never lost a step when it spun out of Facebook's Diem. This is significant because it suggests that Sui is a continuation of Diem, and that's almost exactly what Aptos' founders said about their project. More about Aptos in the description. Now, according to Crunchbase, Miston Labs raised $36 million from Andreessen Horowitz in December 2021. It then raised an additional $300 million from multiple crypto VCs, $100 million of which came from FTX. Other investors included Binance Labs, Coinbase, and Circle. The good news is that Miston Labs bought back FTX's stake from the bankruptcy estate in March for slightly less than the initial purchase price. The bad news is that this still costs Miston Labs almost $100 million, meaning it probably has around $140 million left, minus any interim expenses. While Miston Labs built the Sui blockchain, the latter's ongoing development is coordinated by the Sui Foundation, which was founded in October last year and is based in the Cayman Islands. Oddly enough, the foundation only appointed a director in April this year. The foundation's structure is also unclear. In any case, Sui's mainnet was launched on the 3rd of May after only a year of testing. This speed was likely due to the fact that most of the work on Sui was already done during the Libra/Diem years. Not surprisingly, Sui was immediately listed on all the top cryptocurrency exchanges. Speaking of which, if you don't know what those top exchanges are, then my video in the top right is well worth a watch. And if you're curious about the name, in Japanese, Sui means water. It's one of the 5 elements in traditional Japanese philosophy, and is associated with qualities like fluidity, adaptability, and purity. Who doesn't want their blockchain to be fluid, adaptable, and pure, right? This explains why the project's logo is a water droplet and will also explain some of the terminology we'll encounter later on. So, how does Sui work? The Sui blockchain uses a delegated proof-of-stake consensus mechanism that's capable of processing 300,000 transactions per second. However, Evan and Adani explained in an interview last year that Sui will initially have limited throughput. Unfortunately, it's not clear what Sui's current TPS is. Fortunately, it's clear that Sui is very fast, and this is for a few reasons. Firstly, the blockchain only has 100 validators. This makes it pretty centralized compared to most other cryptocurrencies. The trade-off is that Sui is significantly faster and more secure than most cryptocurrencies per the blockchain trilemma. Secondly, Sui's validator nodes do not store the blockchain's full transaction history, just the state. This makes it easier for them to process transactions. Sui's documentation notes that the full nodes store the full transaction history. Sui currently has around 2,000 full nodes. This adds to its decentralization. Third, only complex transactions require consensus. Simple transactions do not require consensus and are processed in parallel. A technology called Narwhal ensures that pending transactions requiring consensus are quickly identified, and a technology called Bullshark ensures they're processed in order. Remember, water. Now, this is all made possible by the fact that the Sui blockchain orders itself around objects, aka tokens, instead of accounts, aka crypto wallets. For context, most smart contract cryptocurrencies, such as Ethereum, are account-based. They keep track of what accounts are doing, balances, transactions, etc. By contrast, the Sui blockchain keeps track of what objects are doing. This is a small but significant difference because it means that you don't need to interact with a smart contract every time you move an object like an NFT or token. This reduces transaction fees and increases transaction speeds. Evan has gone as far as arguing that object orientation is the only way you can truly own your on-chain assets. Account orientation means that your on-chain assets are technically locked in smart contracts. Object orientation basically takes a token like USDT out of its smart contract and puts it into your wallet. Now, Sui's object orientation is in turn made possible by its Move programming language. For reference, Move is a new programming language created by Diem's developers. In fact, Move was invented by Sui co-founder Sam. Now, Sui uses a modified version of Move called Sui Move, which includes object orientation. This is important to note because of the developer landscape. Aptos also uses Move, and Flow uses Cadence, also a modified version of Move. Move itself is based on Rust, which is used by Solana, Polkadot, and Near Protocol. As such, you could say Sui is a competitor to all of the above, at least for developers. In terms of tokenomics, Sui is the native coin of the Sui blockchain. It's used to pay for transaction fees, for staking, and will be used for governance. What's fascinating is that Sui uses a storage reward structure similar to Arweave, which ensures validators are compensated for storing past transactions. Like Arweave's storage endowment, Sui's storage fund takes a portion of transaction fees aside for future block rewards. Unlike Arweave, Sui takes this portion of transaction fees and stakes them. These extra staking rewards are distributed to validators as needed. The initial fee stake is never removed. Another difference between Arweave and Sui is that users can delete their on-chain data in exchange for a portion of the storage fees they paid. Sui's documentation notes that the delete option does not include the deletion of past transactions, just data related to things like NFT metadata. Phew. When it comes to staking rewards are currently around 8% for both validators and delegators. Sui's documentation notes that validators must have at least 30 million Sui staked in their pool to participate. Thankfully, Delegation can be easily done with no minimum stake using the Sui wallet. Sui's documentation also notes that validators could see their stake and even staking rewards slashed if they misbehave. It's unclear if this punishment applies to delegated stakes. For what it's worth, Sui's validators were hand-picked by the Sui Foundation. The unstaking period is also less than a day, and this relates to Sui's initial distribution. Sui has a maximum supply of 10 billion, which is distributed as follows: 20% to early contributors, 14% to investors, 10% to Miston Labs, 6% to community testers, and 50% to the Sui Foundation. 10% of the Foundation's allocation is being used for extra staking rewards. The vesting schedule for Sui can be seen here. Note that there will be a massive token unlock in November this year, in May next year, and in May 2025. This could result in significant sell pressure considering that Sui was sold for 3 cents a pop to A16Z and 10 cents a pop to the other crypto VCs. It's also possible that there'll be sell pressure from the regular folks who participated in the Sui token sales on KuCoin, OKX, and Bybit, given they got it at similar prices. Luckily, Binance CEO CZ prevented Tron founder Justin Sun from gobbling up all the Sui offered via BNB and TUSD farming. On the demand side, meanwhile, Sui seems to be of interest to institutional investors in the United States. This is because it recently partnered with BitGo for institutional Sui custody. This is impressive considering Evan noted in an interview that Sui is focused on Asia for adoption and investment. So far, Sui has managed to secure a partnership with Chinese commercial giant Alibaba, specifically its cloud division. As you might have guessed, the partnership will see Alibaba provide node and validator services for the Sui blockchain. Depending on how this is done, it could affect Sui's decentralization. Sui seems to have had a bit of retail interest as well. The Sui Wallet browser extension has been downloaded over 1 million times, and there are almost 200 dApps on its blockchain already. What's strange is this is inconsistent with Sui's blockchain data, which says there are only 400k wallets. Despite the apparent interest in Sui, its price has so far failed to perform. In Sui's defense, the project is brand new and launched in the middle of a crypto bear market. Sui's Asia focus could also pump the price once Hong Kong introduces its crypto regulations for retail investors on the 1st of June. More about that in the description. Now, as with all crypto projects, whether Sui reaches its full price potential ultimately depends on its roadmap. Although Sui doesn't appear to have an official roadmap, Binance Research's article on the project contains a few milestones, and many more can be found in interviews with the founders. The Binance Research Roadmap notes that Sui will be introducing zero-knowledge proof logins sometime this quarter, presumably for on-chain privacy protection. Milestones for Q3 and Q4 include the creation of new node types, improving the Move developer experience, and better storage pricing economics. On that note, Miston Labs' chief economist revealed in a September interview that Sui is focused on blockchain storage. They are hyper-aware that having a blockchain as fast as Sui's is going to result in lots of storage demand, hence the plans for archival nodes and improved storage economics. He also revealed that he had attended a conference hosted by USDC issuer Circle and later discussed the topic of stablecoins in Sui's ecosystem. Now, call me crazy, but I think that Sui might be trying to attract USDC to its blockchain. This would make sense considering it would result in a lot more on-chain liquidity. Sui also seems to be super focused on gaming. In an interview with Decrypt, Miston Labs' head of gaming partnerships revealed that over 40 blockchain games are already building on Sui. Evan also said in his aforementioned interview that Sui was super focused on mobile games in Asia. And just a few days ago, the Sui Foundation announced the introduction of Sui Improvement Proposals, or SIPs, allowing the community to propose future milestones for the project. No SIPs have been passed at the time of shooting, but there are already some discussions about an on-chain governance structure. Besides that, Sui seems to be focused on building out its ecosystem via the Sui Foundation. The foundation has been doing this by issuing developer grants as well as academic research grants. The foundation is also trying to expand its ambassador program, which only seems to have 3 people. Regardless, it's possible that the foundation will soon be publishing an updated roadmap. Then again, it's also possible that the foundation and Miston Labs don't want to do or say anything that would classify the Sui coin as a security in the eyes of US regulators like the SEC. Case in point, Sui has yet to list on US exchanges despite being comparatively similar to Aptos, which has been listed by Coinbase. This is a double-edged sword in that it has limited the inflows into Sui, but also serves as a milestone for existing Sui holders to look forward to. US exchange listings are bullish. Right now, all that matters is that Sui has enough runway to survive what's left of the bear market. Evan confirmed back in December that it does, and Asia's upcoming embrace of crypto should further extend this runway. However, surviving doesn't mean succeeding, and Sui faces lots of barriers to success. Which brings us to the concerns we have about Sui. Firstly, it looks as if the project was rushed, probably because it's openly competing with Aptos. Whether it's the Sui Foundation setup or even just the Sui website, it really seems like everything was just slapped together as quickly as possible. This could be explained by the fact that Sui hasn't been as focused on marketing and presentation as other crypto projects. This is something that Evan noted in an interview, and it makes sense considering that all 5 founders are hardcore developers. Chances are they don't know all that much about marketing. Speaking of which, our second concern is competition. As I mentioned earlier, Sui faces lots of competition from a long list of crypto projects, including Aptos, Solana, and Near Protocol. While Sui seems to be targeting blockchain gaming, it doesn't have a primary point of focus, and that's a problem. To their credit, the Sui team is slowly but surely becoming aware of the fact that Sui needs to carve out its own niche if it wants to thrive. I hope the project's mission will be something other than, quote, onboarding the next billion users, because otherwise it will just be yet another layer 1. This ties into our third concern, and that is adoption. You'll recall that there are only around 500,000 wallets on the Sui blockchain. This is understandable given how new the project is, but low transaction volume and total value locked statistics underscore the fact that Sui is not being used all that much. Again, this should improve as Asian countries like Hong Kong introduce sensible crypto regulations. The problem is there's no guarantee that retail investors will be allowed to invest in Sui. Focusing on Asia is also inconsistent with Libra, aka Diem's initial target audience of the US and the West. And this pertains to our fourth and final concern, and that is regulation. The fact that Sui is a de facto continuation of Facebook's Diem under a different name means it's likely to face regulatory scrutiny. Consider that the regulatory pushback against crypto began when Libra was first revealed in 2019. Since that time, governments around the world have been terrified that a big tech company will develop a digital currency that will compete with their national currencies. USDC on Sui will look eerily similar to Libra, and that will raise red flags. Sui partnering with big tech companies would have the same effect. And Sui's relationship with Libra could also make it difficult for its coin to list on US exchanges. I can also imagine that US exchanges are hesitant to list any crypto project in general these days. Therefore, it is possible that Sui won't be accessible to US investors until further guidance on regulations is given. More about the US crypto crackdown in the description. And that is our deep dive into Sui for you folks. All in all, I think this crypto project has serious potential, but it's honestly too soon to say. There's no question that its technology is cutting edge, but its adoption has been questionable, even by bear market standards. Heck, its YouTube channel has fewer than 4K subs. As the saying goes though, if you build it, they will come, and the Sui team has been building non-stop. Miston Labs has some of the most impressive personnel I've ever seen. I'm confident that Sui's adoption will improve as more meaningful milestones are met, and the bull market will create a multiplier effect. Sui could very easily become one of the top-performing cryptocurrencies in the next cycle, and you can rest assured that I'll be keeping a close eye on it. I may even add it to my crypto portfolio in the coming months, but you'll have to subscribe to my weekly newsletter to find out. Link is in the description. Now, it's been a while since we last did one of these reviews, and I hope you enjoyed it. We are planning to start doing more in the near future, so keep an eye out for some exciting developments here at Coin Bureau in the coming months. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, smash that like button to let me know. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and ping that notification bell too so you don't miss the next one. And if you happen to be looking for a hardware wallet or you want to save money when trading your favorite cryptocurrencies, check out the Coin Bureau deals page. It's got massive discounts on crypto wallets and thousands of dollars of trading discounts and incentives. That will be down in the description. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Guy over and out.